Good morning and welcome to the Cloud Next Level and Salix Data Robotic Processing Automation webinar. I'm Jay McKeever, Vice President of Operations at Cloud Next Level, and I'll be joined by Jonathan Adams, President of Salix Data, who you'll hear from in just a little bit. So first, let me tell you a little bit about Cloud Next Level. We are Cincinnati-based with a national reach. We're a certified woman-owned business. We're a certified Salesforce partner, and our team members are all certified US-based Salesforce experts. A lot of certification, all to bring you the best service possible. So here's what you're going to hear about today. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Cloud Next Level. I'm going to give you some kind of use cases on how we deliver efficiency and effectiveness and get you ROI for your Salesforce instance. And then Jonathan Adams is going to join us, and he's going to have two demos for you that show how Salesforce and Salix RPAs work together. The first one is going to be a lead contact data appending demo, and then the second one is going to be a QuickBooks automated invoice for faster cash flow demo. And then he's going to wrap it up talking about other time-saving RPA usage applications from Salix, and then maybe some questions if we have time at the very end. So that's what you can expect. Okay, so I promised a few detailed points about how Cloud Next Level works with our clients. The first is Checkpoint ID, and they are a leading ID verification and fraud prevention service in the multi-housing industry. And they had a challenge, and it was a good challenge, a bad challenge, okay? Since they've been growing rapidly, they've got a 600% growth rate going, good news. The problem was their current Salesforce configuration was rigid, and that impacted their ability to scale. So what we were able to do is we provided a quick start program, and that helped us identify gaps and build requirements to fuel the rapid growth that they were expecting. We added automation that allowed their Salesforce to work more on selling and less on data entry, and that's going to be a kind of a theme we're going to talk about today. And then we helped them build real-time reporting and dashboards. We provided training to their users, and technology continues to grow, and therefore it requires periodic training. So that's another theme that you're going to hear about today. And the final thing that we did with them was we continue to work with them, developing a roadmap for future integrations, things like accounting and DocuSign and other proprietary applications. Now, I want to talk to you another area that we've helped clients in a lot is that, Salesforce admins are in high demand. Actually, all Salesforce certified people are constantly being recruited, and that churn makes day-to-day business difficult. There are more Salesforce jobs than there are qualified people to staff them, and positions can take months, sometimes even years to fill. And so what we do is we provide a business alternative, a virtual administrative team, so to speak. So we deploy an entire team of diverse certified consultants for about the same cost as one full-time admin. And then we maintain your Salesforce instance every day. We stay by your side to help you when and how you need it. We provide training to your staff. There's the training thing again. And then we also help to build out roadmaps like we did with Checkpoint ID. And in one instance, we were troubleshooting for errors, and we uncovered some flows that weren't working properly. We got those feeding right from their website to the sales team, and that really kicked up their pipeline and their close rates dramatically. Now, another area that often becomes problematic for clients is executives need real-time information. Understanding how to correctly build dashboards and reports, well, it can be tricky for most Salesforce admins. And we find that companies need real-time data to effectively manage and run their business. It's hard for a lot of admins to understand how to coach upper management on collecting the right data. So we get involved and we help to apply reporting and dashboard best practices. We put your key KPI data right at your fingertips in real time and provide you with actionable insights to better manage your business. Because your decisions are only as good as the accuracy of the data that you're using to manage it. And you have to measure what matters and then make corrections in real time. So no more management from hindsight. Our final case study was one, it was a machine tool manufacturer, and they were a manufacturing company that make and distribute unique custom vending machines for use dispensing critical business supplies. And their challenge was that they just wanted a large national contract, and they had to build, they had to install, and then they had to service those machines. So they really needed to pivot from being a manufacturing company to a services company. Their requirements called for Salesforce Field Service Lightning, and it needed to be implemented successfully, rapidly, and with scalability. No small feat, but we pulled it off. We were quickly able to help transition them to Field Service Lightning, which allowed them to automate the work order process. And that was a real pinch point for them. So now they're able to manage service contracts, create work orders, schedule technicians, and all of this inside of the Service Cloud on PCs and mobile devices. So think about that. They can work in the office, they can work on the road, they can work at the client site, and they have all the information that they need right at their fingertips. And this has reduced the need for a lot of manual processes. But the big point was it reduced costly errors and it improved the customer experience greatly. Think of this, our dishwasher broke at our house. And we reached out to a company, we had a service contract, one of those home warranty things, and we had 4 different technicians out over a 6-week period. One came, he didn't have parts. Then they sent a different guy, he didn't know what the first guy did, but we had some parts. Didn't have all the parts, so we had to order more parts. On and on and on. Long story short, we wouldn't have been without a dishwasher for 6 weeks had that company used a product like this and manage their service people to get it right on the first visit. Don't get stuck like that. All right, so now here, let's talk about automation. This is going to be my transition slide from what Cloud Next Level does to how Salesforce combined with Salix data RPAs can help you. So there's lots of challenges, but essentially for what we're talking about today, bad data is one. Manual processes, think about deduping data, okay? I've got 2 contacts. They look like they're the same contact, only this one says AZ, this one says Arizona. What are our best business practices? Well, I forget. I'm just going to choose AZ. Human error, right? So CNL and Salix can help. We automate and simplify repeatable tasks. We take out the human error, and then we can handle tens of thousands of transactions at a price point at about $10,000. So that to me is incredible. And you need 2 things. You need a Salesforce instance and Salix RPA bots. So with that, I would like to turn it over to Jonathan Adams, the president of Salix Data. Jonathan, take it away.
Thanks so much, Jay. Now I get the opportunity to be able to do a deeper dive into what robotic process automation is and how it can help support you within Salesforce. And so what I love just about everything there is about robotic process automation, except for the name, because it conjures up these ideas of a physical robot. But what RPA, or robotic process automation, is it's software that gets installed on your computer that gives you the ability to mimic human behavior. So it can actually learn processes. So for example, if every Friday you have to run a report that requires you to pull information from 3 different systems, bring that data together and format it into an Excel spreadsheet, and then email that report to 5 people, you can train a bot to do that task because it's manual, it's repetitive, and it's rules-based. Now, there are organizations that, in addition to just supporting your daily tasks, where you can actually have bots that replace whole roles or departments within organizations. So for example, Deutsche Bank replaced 18,000 people with bots. But the thing that I love as far as a definition of RPA is Leslie Wilcox's definition, where she says RPA takes the robot out of the human. So it really takes those repetitive, mundane, boring tasks that people hate to do, that are often error prone. Those are all great candidates for RPA, and it allows people to focus on things that they're great at, that require human strength, such as emotional intelligence, reasoning, judgment, interaction with customers. And so Salix as an organization, our battle cry around RPA is really that it allows your best people to do what they're best at more often. And so then the impact of that is has a huge impact on both results and on culture, because it's usually those mundane, boring tasks that people hate to do the most. And so, just to give you an idea of some of the basic processes that bots can do, so they can log into applications, move files or folders, read and write to databases, scrape data from websites. They can even connect to other systems' APIs. They can extract content from documents, PDFs, and emails. They can open emails and attachments, and even make calculations. And so the types of processes that are great to automate, again, are rules-based repetitive processes, things that have medium to high transaction volume, that are often error prone and have a high cost associated with them. And so RPA helps streamline Salesforce processes, including account creation, quote creation, contract management, customer support, and case management. So some of the things that you can do with RPA within Salesforce include lead generation within Salesforce, where a bot can pull lead details from third-party applications like LinkedIn. And we're actually going to show you that process here shortly. Additionally, you can export reports from Salesforce. So in many large organizations, not every user has access to Salesforce. However, there are many cases where those users still need access to be able to compile reports. Where using RPA will help you configure and export reports and then distribute them to external parties. Additionally, billing and invoice generation from Salesforce. And so there's a great example of that process where that you can take data that exists in Salesforce and use that data for the bot to then populate your accounting system. So if it's QuickBooks or another accounting platform. And then invoice automation, where that it's able to read invoices one by one, extract the required information from those invoices, like invoice ID, title, invoice date, invoice line items. And then the bot's able to store that data in Excel and then push that into some other application, a CRM or an ERP system. And so those are all great use cases for RPA. But as I mentioned, we're going to show you a demonstration of a bot running, and it is going to update leads within Salesforce based on data that exists in LinkedIn. And so what it will do is it will log into Salesforce and then access all open leads tab. And then you'll be able to click on the first lead and then navigate to the details tab. And then log into LinkedIn, search for that specific lead within LinkedIn, and then identify and then select the correct search in the results. Then you're going to be able to access the LinkedIn profile page, grab the company name from LinkedIn, and then go into Salesforce, update the company field, and then save the changes and move on to the next lead.
Is Zoe. I'm a software robot designed by Salix Data. My objective is to reduce time and costs by handling the repetitive, often error-prone tasks that people usually hate to do. I can be programmed to do tasks such as collect and create new records, update and validate existing data, connect systems together via APIs, and extract data from various sources. I am able to significantly reduce the processing time for complex tasks like invoice processing, inventory management, compliance testing, customer service requests, employee benefits management, and thousands of other processes. You can train me to interact with almost any software, and I can complete these tasks in minutes compared to hours. More importantly, I work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all without making a single mistake. That means I can support your team by providing over 120 additional hours of productivity per week compared to my human coworkers. Let me give you an example. I will show you how I add and update leads in Salesforce. I log into Salesforce, access all open leads. After selecting the first lead, I navigate to the Details tab. To obtain the company name, I log into LinkedIn. I perform a search for the lead in LinkedIn, select the appropriate search result, and access their LinkedIn profile page. I copy the company name from their profile, go back to Salesforce, and update the company field, save the change, and move on to the next lead. I can do this much faster than in this first example, and because I do not grow bored or become distracted. This kind of work is ideal for automation. Now my human coworkers are free from these routine tasks and can focus their time and energy on the work that really matters, bringing value to your organization.
Before we move on, I'd love to give you just a little bit more information, background about who Salix is. And so we've been in business for over 20 years. We have over 2,500 customers, including some of the leading companies, healthcare providers, and law firms in the world. And so, but what we really love to do, our sweet spot, is to take the technology that we're implementing for those big organizations and to take it and bring it to the mid-market where it can match both their budget and the necessary functionality to be able to allow for small to mid-size organizations to leverage this competitive advantage of these types of technologies. And so Salix helps organizations improve data in three core ways. The first is through workflow automation, where we help both optimize and secure the way that data and documents flow through the organization. The second is through business process outsourcing, where we reduce the cost associated with the creation of data, as well as improving the timeliness and quality of that data. The third is through litigation support, where we help law firms and corporate legal departments manage the complex data that's involved in modern day litigation. We've got a global footprint with operations here in the US as well as Africa and in India. And so our focus is exclusively on how to help our clients truly get an understanding and they allow for them to get their hands around their data so they can make more effective decisions. And so we have over 50 engineers, architects, data scientists, project managers that are helping support some of the most advanced technologies available, such as artificial intelligence, business intelligence, data analytics. And what we found is we're implementing these solutions for organizations is that we're building these algorithms to make decisions based on data. And then we found that the data wasn't accurate and that there were real data integrity issues within the majority of our clients' infrastructures. And so we knew that for them to be successful with those types of solutions around AI and data analytics, that the data had to be right. And so we found years ago that RPA was a great tool, that it was actually the least expensive way to dramatically improve the quality of data for an organization. And so that's where we first started leveraging RPA for our clients. And then since then, it has grown dramatically based on the significant cost savings as well as improvement in the quality of data. And so just to be able to kind of break down the nomenclature. So when we evaluate AI or artificial intelligence, that's really head work, where it's technology that's making cognitive decisions and then acting on those decisions. RPA is the handwork, where that's taking the entering of data from one application into another, or comparing data from different applications or spreadsheets. That's really the handwork, and that's where RPA comes into play. And so Salix is really passionate about having an effective marriage between a digital workforce and a human workforce. And so if you think about a human workforce, they act, think, analyze, and socialize. And a digital workforce acts in a very similar way. So they act through robotic process automation, they think through artificial intelligence, and they analyze through advanced analytics. And so then those two things, the human workforce and the digital workforce working together, allows for companies of all sizes to have a truly competitive advantage. And so the benefits that RPA has within Salesforce specifically is really around, the first is around cost reduction. And so by automating a considerable number of routine and non-revenue generating manual tasks that are related to Salesforce, RPA technology helps businesses to reduce their administrative costs and make CRM implementation a more profitable decision. Additionally, it improves the efficiency and productivity of processes. And so an RPA bot can work 24 hours, 7 days a week if needed. They don't take breaks, they don't take vacations, they don't search Facebook in the middle of their workday. Therefore, implementing RPA for Salesforce can really help achieve increased operational efficiency as well as productivity. And then when you think about reduced cycle time, popular Salesforce tasks like lead nurturing, routine sales activities, lead management, and customer support often include several time-consuming rules-based manual tasks. Well, RPA can assist in completing those tasks, as you saw, within seconds, um, or, um, and can assist in reducing the cycle time dramatically. And then, as Jay talked about, the error reduction is a huge advantage, where the data entry errors in Salesforce can happen because of human mistakes, like lack of concentration. But additionally, it's really difficult to ensure consistency in how multiple employees interpret instructions and input data, without causing data integrity issues. And that's especially true when it's salespeople that are implementing data, or if it's someone that's doing it as a part of their process, that they hate that function. And so these errors can create a significant cost, both monetarily, but even from a credibility and reputation standpoint, if those errors end up impacting your customers. And so RPA can automate those data entry tasks in the CRM and eliminate the human errors that are associated with it. And so now we'd love to open up the floor for any questions that folks might have.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in with the question that we just got. And so let's just take a swing at it here. Can any Salesforce user have a bot, or will all programming and deployment need to come from the IT side of the house? And that's a great question. And it's a simple answer, really. Anyone can be a citizen developer. If you have basic Excel programming skills, you can program a bot. And that's just, I mean, this is just the beauty of the technology. And John, it looks like there's one in there for you.
Yeah, so this question says, do you need to program within Salesforce to have a bot run on the system? And so actually, RPA works with any platform, and you don't have to do any special coding within those applications to make it work. So if you can access the application from your computer, and then use mouse clicks and keyboard inputs to be able to interact with it, then that's what the bot is going to use to interact with any application within your system, Salesforce or otherwise. So we received another great question. Which RPA tools will work best with Salesforce? And so it is important to understand that from Salix's perspective, Salix works with the top RPA platforms available, and then based on the client's needs, makes the recommendation that's going to best meet the functionality that they're looking to leverage, as well as if they're planning on using it organization-wide or just to solve one specific problem. And so based on each client, we make a recommendation around which software works the best. And so we've got some great use cases for clients leveraging different software packages for Salesforce, but we definitely have a favorite that we typically use in those instances, but would love to talk to anybody in more detail about their specific needs and make sure that we're making a recommendation that's customized to you.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, on the Salesforce side, the question came in an RPA implementation with Salesforce, what's needed? And it's a good question because we just went through it trying to put this all together, so I got to see it firsthand. But really what you need to do is the process that is to be automated, you need to document that and map it out so that the people that are programming the RPA bot can take over. So it's not terribly difficult as long as your processes are not too difficult, but whatever it takes, they can hook it up and automate that, and you'll be happy that they did, that's for certain. So John, it looks like that's about all the time that we have. So I'd like to just remind everybody, you see on the screen there, my name, Jay McKeever, and my contact information. If you have additional questions on the Salesforce side, please reach out to me. And then Gia Juncker is there, and her contact information for the Salix data side. And she'd be happy to answer any additional questions that you have as well. Some of them, as we alluded to before, might take both of our companies, but we're happy to get with you and work through it. I'd like also to thank you, and on behalf of Jonathan Adams and myself, thanks so much for listening in today. And you can look forward to additional work that we're going to put together. Thanks so much.
Thank you.